Hey, it's Miss Ussin with 2 minutes for new teachers. And it really ends up being more like 5 or 6 minutes, y'all, because as promised, I wanted to share some coverage from Wesleyan College where I spoke the other day, spoke to some future educators, and let me tell you, it was a good time. They had a good time. I had a good time. They learned. I learned. I didn't even want to leave because it was such a good time. So I want to share that with y'all. And I know I said I would get this to you yesterday or the day before, but y'all, life is busy when you're working. One of the companies that I consult with, y'all, we had so much stuff to do yesterday that I barely even looked at my phone. Okay, but I'm here now and I want to share this with y'all. So be warned. The coverage is not that great. I'll just go ahead on and say that up front, but the message is there. Some of the nuggets are there. So I gave you just some bits and pieces, not everything, of course, because essentially, as I said before, what I share with them is what I would be sharing with you. And so just stay tuned and take a look at it. All right. And I'll see y'all next week. So I do hope that you all have your notes. Yes, I'm that teacher that says take notes. Yeah, we still in class. All right. Yes. So we're going to go around the room. Everybody has to talk. Just say who you are and why do you want to teach. Let's start with you, baby.
I want to teach because I just want to be, I guess you kind of say the teacher that I wanted growing up. So, being patient when other kids are behind or don't understand the material as soon as the teacher teaches.
That's what I like. You want to be a teacher that you wish you had. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
And I want to teach because, I would just want to be a coach. Like, when I was in school, I did schoolwork because of the coaches. I wanted to play a sport, so I had to do my work. So just want to be that figure for kids.
Sounds like your coaches had a good influence too.
Yeah.
Because you remember them. That's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go this way. I do like this, y'all. All right. I'm gonna tell you to hold on to whatever that thing is that you just shared with us. Why you want to teach? Because there are gonna be days that it gets hard, days that you want to quit, and if you do not have something that is purposeful, if you do not have something that you feel you're called to, you will quit. It's happening, all right? This is the state of education. Let me get somebody to read that headline. Give me a new voice.
Oklahoma College suspend education programs for upcoming semester.
Oklahoma colleges and universities say that there aren't enough people who want to be teachers, so it's no longer a major until further notice.
Oh my God.
This is what's happening in education. This is why, teacher, you are necessary. You have to know your why. You have to know why you want to do this. Because what if in 10 years, when you're well into your profession, we see another pandemic and it gets hard to teach? My last class was May 2021. I taught in the pandemic. And I'm going to tell you why I left the classroom in just a minute. But when I was there, it was tough. I had never taught with a mask on and can't really touch my kids. And we don't have as many social opportunities as we once had. And then the extracurricular activities are either cut short or completely cut out. Things have changed. But for the love of teaching, students were still coming to school and they needed teachers. And a lot of people see the pandemic as negative. And there have been, believe me, some negative things. We know that there have been many deaths. And I don't ever want to minimize that. But I have this ability to see where the positive lies in anything that's seemingly negative. Think with me to Hurricane Katrina. Y'all know this New Orleanian, right? There are so many people from New Orleans who would have never left the city, who would have never started that business, who gained more in the loss than they'd had in all their lives. It was the storm that came rushing through that gave them the positivity and all of the greatness that they live in now. I knew for the last 3 or 4 years in the classroom that it was time for a new wave of teachers. I could see it. There were teachers who had been there too long, who didn't want to change, who would learn that there was all this new technology we could be using, who would see that our students are different and they just do things. It's a new child in the classroom these days, and they wouldn't adapt to meet them. And our children were suffering. I say it's time for a new wave of teachers. And guess what this pandemic is doing? Pushing a wave of teachers out, allowing for a new wave to come in. It's you. I left to make sure you're ready. Because those kids everywhere, that's my babies. I take it personally. I want you to be able to teach my babies. When I tell you my students were running circles around all the other 8th graders by the end of the year, Miss Ussin, the newbie, a journalism major who had to learn teaching while she was teaching, on the job, I had to learn it. I had the highest CRCT scores. You probably know about CRCT, Dr. Warren. It's called something else now, but that was our end of the year testing. I had the highest in all the schools, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, because I got in there and I knew, regardless of what was happening with me, losing sleep, losing friends, losing time, losing weight, losing hair, everything that was happening with me, those students were begging me not to leave them too. They couldn't wait for a teacher to come in and be organized and actually have instruction that was thought out for them, give them activities where they got to have fun, all of the things. I got in there and loved on them, and they loved on me, and we showed them what school was all about. The highest in the school. Now, I didn't know that that was a thing until we got in the meeting, and all of these teachers in our faculty meeting who hadn't said maybe 2 words to me all year, all of a sudden everybody wants to talk to Miss Ussin to figure out what the heck I did. My first year teaching. So anyway, you're necessary. Have I made that point clear?
Yes,
You are necessary. All right, and at this point, we are going to start taking some notes, all right?